Welcome to 27 Topics. Today we have a very special guest, and we're in the school series. With us today is Mary Robinson, Superintendent of Perry Central. Welcome to 27 Topics.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
It's great to have you. This is the first time that you've been on the show.
We appreciate being included in Perry County.
Glad to have you on the program, and cable reaching down into that area, and of course there's people that watch it over the air.
Definitely.
So we're very pleased and to have you with us.
Thank you.
You've been in the school system there in Perry County for 20 years and superintendent for
about 5 years, right. I started at Perry Central as a kindergarten teacher a few years ago, and now I've been superintendent for 5 years. It's a great place to be.
It's a great rural area.
Yes, a very, very proud community.
Tell us a little bit about the school system there in Perry County.
Well, Perry Central takes in the entire rural area of Perry County. So the city schools of Tell City and Cannleton to the south, and then the entire rural community is taken in with Perry Central. So we have a very large geographic area that we take in, about 400 square miles. Our buses travel 1,200 miles a day, gathering our students all on one campus. We have 2 schools, an elementary and a high school, but we're all right on one campus. So the school campus is there for our preschool through high school population, but it also serves as a community center for the entire population, and that's something we're really proud of, to be able to be there as the kind of the social hub of the community, where we host a lot of community meetings, as well as opening it up for community learning, lifelong learning activities, community fitness. And any time we can be a part of the community, we like to do that. We like to model that lifelong learning for our students.
And you're located near Leopold.
Exactly, near Leopold, right in the center of the county.
And like you said, then you cover the large rural area.
Right.
And there's a lot of rural living today.
Yes.
How many students are in the whole system?
We have about 1,200 students. And that our population has been, we go up and down some, but basically over the last several years we've been very stable. And that's our housing, I think, is reflective of that basically we might gain 20 students, or we might lose a few, but we've been pretty stable.
What is the average class size there?
We really are working to keep our class sizes low. We're in the 20 to 25 range. In the lower grades, we really keep those low with the primetime grades, kindergarten through 3rd grade. We work to keep those at 18 to 22, 23. And then as we move up, we may end up with some classes up in the upper 20s, but we try to keep in the 25 range.
Tell us a little, things that are coming up is kindergarten is in discussion in the state.
Kindergarten has been a big topic, and we've been watching that closely, but we've had full-day kindergarten for over 25 years, so it's something that we've watched more really from a funding angle, because we've known that we always are committed to full-day kindergarten. It's something that as a school philosophy we believe in, and our community members really believe in that full-day kindergarten. So it's been more of a topic for us to look at from a funding perspective, just to see how it's going to work out for our funding, how much corporation funds versus state funding. And the way that the law worked out this year, it's going to be helpful to us. It's actually, I think it's going to be a plus. But in terms of program, we already had our rooms, we already had our teachers, we already had our full-day program, and that's something we're going to continue.
You know, with offering full-day kindergarten, as you do, to be complimented on that. The both parents are working, and you have these. What do you do with the kindergarten kids after school?
It's not only kindergarten students, but all students. We realize that this is a very busy time in our society, and so we need to try to do all we can to help families to enhance their quality of life, and knowing how that spills over into the academic world for our students. So we provide an after-school program from 3 to 6 every day, and in fact we even have a before-school program, because we know a lot of students get dropped off at school early, so we have a safe place that they can go if they arrive at school early. And the after-school program, obviously it provides that safe place, so we don't have latchkey children going home to empty houses, but it also is a great time for tutoring and workshops in the academics as well as fitness activities and activities in the arts. We've been really fortunate to receive grants from our local community foundation as well as the Jasper Community Arts Commission, which we're very appreciative of, that enhance the arts for our rural students who might not otherwise have those opportunities. So we're very appreciative of those grant opportunities.
You also, I think, in the high school offer shop.
Yes, we do. Our industrial technology program, it has a long history. The woodworking tradition in Perry County is strong, so that industrial technology program is a very good program. And we've also been pleased to, this year we've added a Project Lead the Way, which is a pre-engineering, and it's all technology-based, and I don't even know the technological terms for it, but it's a really intense pre-engineering program that we're really proud to be able to offer to our students to give them a jump start into a career in engineering.
Now, I know you mentioned, the after-school lights on program, and then how early in the morning before school?
7 o'clock.
At 7 o'clock. Right. People who need to be at work or at the office can drop their kids off.
Exactly.
That certainly is helpful in any area, let alone a rural area.
Right. It is. It's because most families have a little bit farther to travel to work, so we want to try to provide that safe and enriching area for the students to be.
In your school system, another thing that always comes up every year is I-STEP. How does Perry Central rate?
I-STEP is a topic that we're faced everywhere. If you go to another state, it may not be I-STEP, but even there, it's going to be standardized testing of some sort. It's the hot topic right now, and the accountability is huge. So it's a pressure, and it's constantly there for administrators, teachers, and even students. We're pleased with our I-STEP scores. The last several years, we've continued to make gains each year. But when I say that, I also have to say that every year when we get our scores, we comb over them and we look closely and to segregate the data to see what areas, because until we have 100% passing for all students, we're never going to be satisfied. And we have to keep working because obviously our students deserve the best, and they all deserve to achieve at their highest level. But overall, we're pleased with our scores and are continuing to work hard to bring them up. It's really a credit to our students and our teachers for their hard work, because it's a time of change, and our teachers have had to make a lot of changes, and we really appreciate their dedication to make that happen.
What is your attendance rate or dropout rate?
Our dropout rate, we were pleased when the figures came out last year. The state average was low, and it made the news, and we were pleased that we were 7 to 8% above the state average. But at the same time, we were disappointed we still are not pleased until we have no dropouts. We don't want to lose anybody. We can't just look and say a percentage and say, oh, that's okay, because we're above the state average. We're still obviously concerned, and we want to make sure, pardon the cliche, that no child is left behind. But we really do believe in that we have to look at every student and make sure every student is successful. But in terms of just looking statistically, we did well in that area. And attendance is the same way. Our attendance rate is 95 to 97% consistently each year. So we're making our state benchmarks in that area as well.
Good. What are some of the problems that you see that, with the rules and regulations that you face? What are problems that you face that?
Well, I think that we're just in a time of more and more accountability. And you hear this whether it's in education or in business or whatever area, is that just there's more and more bureaucracy and more paperwork. And so I think that that's constantly a challenge that we have, is always to make sure we get our reports in, and that the level of accountability. And I think technology obviously makes it easier, but also there's more data. It's just such a time of data. So there's so much data that we have to provide to the state, and now to the point where we track every student in terms of test scores and attendance and counting for our state funding. So every student has a number, that student ID number that travels with them wherever the student go. If a student moves to a different school, that number goes with them. So in terms of accountability, and so I think in terms of just a data collection, that's a challenge. But in terms of curriculum, the challenge is positive in that we're just always trying to be better. So I don't really look at that as a negative, but more as just as a challenge, not as a weakness, but just as a thing that we always want to be better. So we take where we are. It's just the old saying that if you're not moving forward, you're moving backwards, and that's what we really believe, is that we need to constantly be growing and improving because our students deserve the very best.
Now, busing 1,200 miles a day, I'm sure that can be a challenge for you sometimes.
Well, in Jasper, I know that people hear Perry Central on the radio often because of the snow days. I get harassed about that often because of, I'm teased if there's one flake of snow, we call off school. But the truth is that with our rural community, our roads, our curvy, hilly roads, we do have to be cautious, and we're going to err on the side of safety if there's an issue there. In the last few years, we haven't missed that many days, but when you do hear Perry Central, just if you come and travel our roads, you might understand it a little bit more, and remember that we have to make those days up, so we still go 180 days just like everybody else. But there are, it just like you said, when you travel that many miles on those kind of roads, we're going to have issues. But we have great bus drivers. We have bus drivers that are so committed to our students that if you listen on the two-way radios, at the end of the day, you'll hear a bus driver call in that it doesn't look like anybody's home at a house, and they're very concerned about making sure their students are safe. So that's just a real plus that our bus drivers are so committed to our students.
And I guess the county, when it snows, is busy on those. The roads are kind of narrow in the rural area.
Yes, but we have great cooperation with the county highway department and the state highway department, and we're really appreciative of what they can do, especially if a snow comes during the school day. They're right there to do all they can to make sure we get our students home safely.
And when does school start?
School starts August 14th on Tuesday. Teachers come back officially on Monday the 13th, and students will be there on the 14th. We can't wait to have them back.
Mary Robinson, Superintendent of Perry Central Schools, you can have a closing comment.
Well, it's just I appreciate you including us, and we're really proud at Perry Central to do all we can to bring the greatest educational opportunities to our students, and it's nice to have an opportunity to be here and talk about that.
Thank you for being our guest.
Thank
Mary
you.
Robinson. Welcome back to 27 Topics. Our guest at this time is Dr. Jerril Vandeventer, the Superintendent of Greater Jasper School System. Welcome.
Thank you, Paul. It's a pleasure.
Tell us a little bit about Greater Jasper.
Well, like every other school, I guess, in the state of Indiana, we're getting ready for the start of another school year, and it's hard to believe, but summer goes by very quickly and seems to go more quickly each year. Our first day of school this year will be August the 16th, and it's an 8 a.m. start. It is a full day of school, so parents and students need to be prepared to be in attendance for a full day of school at that time.
When you say full day, what is the school day? What are the hours?
The school day is 8 until 3, that particular time. I do have some registration dates that I think probably would be important for those parents and those students as we're coming into the start of this year to be prepared. 5th Street, our elementary school registration date there is Monday, August the 6th from 4 p.m. till 6:30. 10th Street is Tuesday, August the 7th from 4 p.m. until 6:30. Ireland Elementary, August the 8th, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., and then again in the evening from 6 until 7. Jasper Middle School on Monday, August the 13th from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Jasper High School, students and parents can pick up their packets on August the 10th, August the 9th and August the 10th. And then registration for the high school will be on August the 13th, juniors and seniors from 7:30 until 3:30 p.m. August the 14th for freshmen and sophomores from 7:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. and for anyone else who missed the first day. So there will be 2 days of registration at that particular location.
And how many students do you anticipate?
Well, currently our projected enrollment at the Jasper High School or for Greater Jasper Corporation is 3,025 students, and those will be spread out through our 3 elementaries, our middle school, and our high school.
And then the 3,025, what percentage of those are high school?
Well, normally our high school enrollment has been right around 1,000 plus, up to 1,050, with our middle school enrollment being 700 plus, and the remainder being spread through the 3 elementary schools.
Tell us a little bit about the lunch program.
Well, there is a couple of changes, Paul, that I think would be significant for this year, and that is there has been a price increase. As you know, the expenditures for and cost of everything continues to increase. We have increased our elementary lunch prices this year 15 cents to $1.65. Breakfast at 5th and 10th Street School will be served. The cost of that is $1. This is the first year that Jasper Middle School will offer a breakfast program, and the cost of the breakfast program at the middle school is $1.25. Lunch is $1.75, which is also a 15-cent increase from last year. Jasper High School, lunch is $1.75, which there is no increase there at the high school. But there is an increase at the elementary school and at Jasper Middle School of 15 cents per student.
When is it like breakfast served?
I believe it's 7:30, 7:35. There's about 20 to 25 minute period of time there prior to the start of school for those students who choose to be a part of that program.
And then the lunch program, is that at noon or when is it?
It varies depending on the number of kids and the number of lunches. I know, for example, at the high school, we run 3 lunch periods there, and I believe the first one is somewhere around 11:30 and concludes between 11:30 and 1 o'clock.
And with the registration, of course, busing is just around the corner. I guess parents and people out on the highway and the roadways need to be watching for students.
That's an excellent point. You know, as large as those school buses are with those bright colors, people get used to, in a very short period of time, over the summer, of not seeing those buses out there and not seeing kids on the streets and the street corners, and it's so critical every day. But in particular, with the beginning of the school year, those buses being back on the roads first, after having not been there for a period of time, I encourage all motorists to take precaution and be extremely careful, because the safety of our kids is of extreme importance.
Is there any new regulation for buses?
You know, really not. I simply would make a statement in terms of busing. I think that some of the best things that students can do with the encouragement and the help of parents is to know your bus driver, know the pickup time that your driver will be at that location. And I understand and realize that it takes a couple, 3 days for kids to learn that. But once they do, it's critical that they be there on time and that they understand that behavior on a bus is just like in a classroom, that the bus is an extension of a classroom, and to a certain extent, the safety is even far greater there. You've got a classroom that's now rolling with as many as 60 to 100 kids possibly, or 90 kids on that bus, and that driver needs all the concentration they possibly can. So I would appeal to students, and I would appeal to parents, the importance of making sure that they were behaved and stayed seated on a bus. It's extremely important for their safety.
Well, parent involvement in the curriculum and everything is very important.
You know, I don't know that there's any aspect of the education that's any more important than that support that comes from home. Parents need to be encouraged to get involved in their child's education, to join the PTO and attend as many school activities as they possibly can. We have many volunteer programs in each of our buildings. They should sign up for those. Know your child's teacher and your principal and communicate with them. Those folks are there to help, and we have a wonderful staff in our corporation from top to bottom that wants nothing but success for each and every one of our kids. So, you know, I encourage parents to communicate with the schools and make sure that they ask their child when they come home in the evening what's going on in school, and don't accept nothing as an answer, because there is something that's going on every day. Set aside study time and provide study space and time for your children, and check their homework. make sure they leave each day with their materials and they're prepared to do the very best they can. I just think that's extremely important as a parent for us to do those types of things.
Of course, there's so much after-school activity.
Well, if your child can't find something in our school corporation that can entertain them, I don't know what it would be, because we have countless extracurricular activities as well as our sports. Our fall sports program has already begun. We're underway. But in addition to the sports, band, a choral production, fine arts production in terms of plays and musicals, and countless clubs. So I do believe that the extracurricular programs also is very significant in the lives of kids to make them a well-rounded and well-educated and happy individual. So we encourage that participation.
It just seems like today parents are running all the time. I mean, that's what you hear. And but I think the activities are important for the well-being of the student, like you said.
Well, yeah, there's no question that it is time-consuming, but probably no greater investment can be made than in the lives of our young people.
Of course, as the school year begins, fall begins, and climate changes, so...
That's an interesting and probably one of the most difficult decisions that we as school officials have to make, and that is in terms of cancellations and delays for school in terms of inclement weather. And I would simply encourage parents to do some preliminary work on that and making sure that they have emergency contacts available. Those numbers are in the principal's office, and they've made arrangements for kids in the event that we do have to have an early dismissal or there is a delay a couple hours. And those things sometimes we associate that with the winter time, and that's where most of it will occur. But there have been occasions of some extreme fog that could create a delay and even some flooding. So I think it's critical that parents be prepared to have their child supervised when those times occur in advance, because we don't like leaving children at home unsupervised.
Do you have on the buses any type of communication system?
We do. We're very fortunate in our corporation. Each one of our buses is equipped with a radio, and they are in complete communication. There is a base radio in each one of our school buildings, as well as our superintendent's office. So we are in constant communication with our buses, and it's a tremendous asset for us.
And how's Greater Jasper doing with the I-STEP program?
Our I-STEP program is like most things within our corporation. We do an outstanding job, but there's always room for improvement. And the circumstances which enter into how well you do changes each year based on the population of students and kids that you have involved. But overall, our schools do an excellent job and compete very well with the area schools as well as state schools. And again, that test is a state mandatory test that's given in the fall, and this particular time, it's this particular upcoming year, that specific time is September the 17th to the 28th. And I believe that, I could simply say to parents that is an extremely important, significant test. And I think talking to your kids about the significance of that test and making sure that they have plenty of rest that particular week and they leave home with a good breakfast. Those things are important every day, but extremely important during that period of time that they be prepared to do very well on the I-STEP test.
This test is very shortly after the school year begins.
It really is, and there's been a lot of discussion and controversy through the years as to whether it should be issued in the fall or the spring. And there's pros and cons to both, I guess, if you look at it. But really, you're exactly right. We no more get in school, and kids begin to become orientated to their daily schedules and their daily routines, and then they're faced with this test.
Wouldn't that put you, if you were that age, uptight?
Very much so. Even at this age, taking a test of any kind can put you uptight. But I think it's important that kids understand the significance, but at the same time recognize and realize that they simply need to relax and do the best they can.
Now, kindergarten has been, rattled around the state, all-day kindergarten, and how are we in that?
We are addressing it, Paul, at this point in time on a limited basis, and that's primarily due to budgeting. There is some grant money there that will provide some support in that area, but not to the extent that the expense of it is completely covered. We had 2 sessions last year of full-day kindergarten with approximately 40 kids. We've expanded that this year to another section of about 60 students, and those are based. That is, the enrollment has been based on needs. It's been based on invitation to that. With the thought in time that will be expanded in our corporation. I think as monies become more available statewide and we see exactly how that's going to be supplemented, I think full-day kindergarten is something that we all need and we want, but the expense of it right now has kind of got it on hold for corporation-wide.
Dr. Vandeventer, our time is just about up. Any closing comments that you would like to make?
I simply thank you for the opportunity to come and talk about our schools and tell the parents and the students that we welcome them back and that our doors are open. The lines of communication exist between the schools and my staff and everyone. We're here to try to help and try to serve, and it's just an honor and a privilege to be a part of a great school corporation like Jasper's.
Dr. Jerril Vandeventer, Superintendent, Greater Jasper Schools. Thank you for being our guest today.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Paul.
If you or someone you know has a talent to showcase or an event to promote on 27 Topics, please contact this station